So with the new world handicap system, professional golfers have now been able to get a handicap. So for me, myself, I went and did that and got myself a handicap as a professional and a disabled golfer with cerebral palsy. And what that came out as was plus 3.5, so plus 4. So I'm going to share with you in this video the drills that I've done, the 3 main pivotal drills to get myself to that plus 4 handicap, even with cerebral palsy, which gives me about 75% of the, let's say, less strength in my right, so really quite weak in comparison to the right, and absolutely terrible mobility, so weak and inflexible. Not good for golf, is it? But you can still get some good motions with the right drills. So these drills are going to help absolutely everyone out there, regardless of handicap, because they really target your striking, your power, and your driver. So let's get to it. So drill number 1, and this is with the swing plate or a long alignment stick. So what this does, this really helped me control my backswing, getting a centered turn, and then subsequently more consistent ball than turf contact. So with this drill, all we're doing is we're hitting balls, having this about 4 fingers away from the right side of our head, making sure we don't hit that in the backswing, and then just trying to strike the shot as solidly as we can, which it does that pretty much every time with this drill. If anyone's suffering with ball striking, this is a great one, because what this ultimately does, this gives you, like we said, that centered turn, good coil up, nice on top of the body, still loading into that trail side, but doing it centered. Now it means I don't have to shift an incredible amount to the left side to move enough left to move the low point forward, because again, for me, I really struggle because of my disability to get into that left side. So for me, a centered turn is absolutely a necessity if I want to get the weight shifting left and the low point forward, just like that. Awesome. So I almost feel like I'm going to lose my balance a little bit because I'm getting that much left from there. That's where what my fault was, which is what so many golfers do, is they will do this. They'll turn up to the top. And this is what, again, my main fault was, and move away from the shot. So upper body moving away there. Again, I wasn't even trying to do that. It was subconscious, but that's what would happen. I would move away, upper body would go too much to the right. And then from there, how much do you have to shift left? Loads. You have to shift so much to get that right side of the chest really in front of that ball to be able to control strike, or even more precisely, it's the left side, just on the inside there of that left chest. We want that considerably past the ball to get the low point forward. That's about where our low point of our swing arc is. So if we're all the way back here, we're not going to be able to get there. Not at all. That's where, for me, I always used to focus on that right side to really help me get forward. But again, if I was up to the top right back here, I've got too much work to do. So that's where having that centered turn means that I had to, of course, do just such a short motion of weight shift to get there, to get low point nicely in front of the golf ball every single time. And that drill massively helped me, because it made me, even when I wasn't doing the drill, still imagine it was there. That's when you know it's a really good drill. And it gives you feedback, of course, as well. So again, an alignment stick, just coming up here, absolutely awesome. Just outside the right side of your head. It's going to make you strike the ball so much better and more solidly like me. And this was a real big night and day difference for myself. This really, just like that, gave me better striking really overnight after, again, even just after that first lesson I did with my old coach, Lee Cox. I was amazed at how much better I hit the ball with it. And then after that little bit of practice, boom, I was off to the races with good striking. Because when I was back here, of course, with the drill, I would hit that with my head every time. But I'll get all this turnover and wrap over of the hands. Not too great. Just really helped everything with the body move better also. Absolutely brilliant drill. And one thing before we get into drill number 2 that ultimately isn't a drill, but it was so crucial for me, and that is why I'm filming out here, and that is a net. So just like back in the day with my old cage net from my old videos, I used to hit so many balls into that, and here I hit so many balls again into this net, because this really enabled me just to focus purely on my technique and not focus on ball flight. Ball flight can lie to you. You can do a bunch of things and being able to time it up to hit it. Like I used to hang back here, throw the hands, that moved the low point forward as well, and I could strike a good golf shot where that could lead me to think, okay, I've put a good swing on it, but no, I hadn't. I just timed it rightly. What would be the more tester is, how am I actually playing consistently? How is my rounds over a big course period of time? That tells me how good my technique is. If my greens and regulation were terrible one round but good the next, then I'm very timing based. So if you haven't got a net, get yourself a net to make maximal improvement. So drill number 2, and this is actually technically 2 drills in drill number 2, but I did them as a progression. So my old coach back in the day got me doing these 2 drills. So the first drill that we dove into was this, the pause at the top, pausing and then going through. Because one of my big areas, again, in my golf swing, this was a little bit because I used to move back. I used to have to try and get everything forward. I did a lot with my arms as well. So I got really rushed really quick. So very quick tempo. I still have somewhat of a quick tempo, but nowhere near like I was. So I would get really rushy with my arms and then I'll get all out of sync. My upper body would then, or let's say my arms would outrace the rest of my body, then I wouldn't be able to get too much turn. I wouldn't be able to clear the hips. I'll just be pretty square on at impact. So that's where pausing at the top allowed me to start to move the body better, to start to unwind and turn through the shot, because it gave my body time to clear and to unwind, but it was ridiculously difficult. So at that time, I remember what my handicap was roughly around a 3, I believe, when I did this drill, long time ago. But in that lesson, as a 3 or maybe even 4, could have been, handicap, I could not hit the ball at all doing this drill. I'd pause at the top, try and hit it, and I would top it, I would shank it, I'd missed one. Again, not good as when you're that low of a handicap. And my coach, something that I wouldn't even reckon, I'm not even going to demonstrate to you or recommend to do, he did this. So imagine I was standing over there, he paused at the top like that, looked at me, swung through, pured one straight down there. And he said his tempo or his sequencing is at the point where he could look wherever he wants, pause and hit a ball and still hit a good golf shot. And he said to me, you should be able to do that in a couple months. Spoiler, I did not manage to do that in a couple months, but I was able to pause and hit the ball after some work. But he gave me a little kind of bridging drill because he saw I was struggling so much. So that bridging drill was ultimately to get this lower body firing a little bit better, because I'd pause it at the top and I'll just still, in that early lesson, do that, swing down and hit the shot. I didn't actually intend to hit that, but that was a very cool little top shot, that was. But again, I still wasn't activating the body as well as I could because I wasn't used to doing it. So what we did something that exaggerated the body firing. So I'd do this step through drill. So bring the left foot to the right foot, and then I would, as soon as I take the club back, step through. Oh, the strike every time you do that drill is just awesome. So what that did, that got my body firing up really early. So my left foot would go over, and that's getting my downswing sequencing with my lower body starting in the backswing. So really over exaggerating it. And in getting in the reps of that, made it much easier. Oh, that's a good strike. Made it much easier to do the pause at the top drill. And then I started to move better. So lots and lots of shots, lots of embarrassing range sessions, absolutely, when doing this. But that's how now I can actually do that drill somewhat. So now I'm not at the point where my body is super slow with its rotation, very armsy. So if this is you, absolutely, this is going to be absolutely brilliant. So stalling out turn, really armsy. Logo of my glove we used to talk about a lot, used to really disappear around me because I had no rotation. Arms just passed through, and now it's a lot better with a much calmer logo motion of that glove. Talking about gloves though, sponsor of this video is GX Gloves. So I've recently just partnered with GX Gloves. Absolutely amazing quality gloves. So if you were like me, hated buying new gloves because they were really expensive for what they were. That's why I never used to wear gloves, because my gloves, of course, with practicing a lot, would tear, and I'd be like, oh, don't want to spend whatever it is, the increasing price it always is to get a new glove. So that's where GX Gloves are absolutely top quality. The exact same quality as the leading brands, 100% torque, Bretta leather. If you know your gloves, that is absolutely the gold standard, but also extremely affordable, which is great. So that it's not breaking the bank like normal gloves are. Absolutely brilliant. That's why so many people are using GX gloves. Now you might have seen them on YouTube channels. You might even just see with your buddies wearing GX gloves. Absolutely awesome. So now as well, it's Black Friday. So with Black Friday coming up, or I'd say Black Friday November, a lot of people call it now, or Black November, we have an early access sale as well for this. All you got to do is sign up, which is in the video description, and you'll get all this here for a really good price. So that's where you get an amazing golf bag, which is absolutely brilliant. Bunch of gloves that will last you forever. And of course, all these other little goodies there, which will be awesome. Again, all you got to do is sign up to that early access. Absolutely, you're going to get some awesome gloves. Okay, so drill number 3, and that is now with driver. So what we've got again, we've got my swing plate. So just like with the first one, again, very versatile training aid. So with the swing plate, what I've done, I've put it down the target and I've extended the pole out just to where it's going over the golf ball. Might even look maybe slightly on the inside of the ball from your perspective, or might even be slightly on the outside. But again here, roughly over on top of the golf ball. So what this did for me, and angling it nicely down as well, is just making sure that it kept my club path from getting a little bit too much out to in through impact. So we'll just hit the ball here, trying to swing underneath the stick. It's a really, really good drill. And it's amazing. I love it. So for me, my fault, which really hurt my driver a ton, was because of my cerebral palsy. It was tough to get onto that left side and get that pressure left early. So my weight would hang back on that right leg with driver. And my swing path might have looked good halfway down. And then as I got through the golf ball, because there was still too much weight on this back leg, I started turning and pivoting from that right side, and that diverged the club a little bit out to in last minute. So if I did that with this, I'd clatter into that. So that took my club path with driver from when I was swinging badly with it, it could have even been all the way to 6 degrees to the left without swinging over the top, all because my weight wasn't shifting early enough, hanging back and throwing. Crazy. I would hit driver all over the place when I did it. But with doing this, it completely prevents that from happening. If I have the little extra thought with this as well to help me get my pressure left early, I like to feel like my belt buckle gets on top of my left heel. So getting that functionality movement in there. But just simply swinging underneath the stick, when I measure this at somewhere like tee to green, which I hit balls at as well, film a lot of videos there, and it would make me read anywhere from 2 degrees into out all the way to anywhere to 5. That's what I want to see, so to the right. But then when I take this away, it then neutralizes a lot better. So it's making me exaggerate that slightly into out motion with driver, which then really helps me to be able to mitigate that fault of hanging back that little bit and the club diverging out. It completely stops it. And only really took me a couple of practice sessions of doing this for it to completely change my driver. So this is where driver is now one of by far the strengths of my game, with the accuracy. Now with the step through drill and the pause at the top, massively helped me for power. So that's where getting into that left side earlier increased club head speed quite quickly. But we still need that accuracy. And for me, I will most likely never be a long hitter because of my cerebral palsy. It would be amazing if that could ever happen. But even though in the sense of, let's say, normal recreational golf, I'm a long hitter, but for professionals, you know, maxing out a drive 290 is not long. So that's where, for myself, accuracy is number one. And that's why I think a lot of you watching out there, if, again, maybe a senior golfer, or maybe you don't have the physical capabilities to hit the ball very far, you need to be accurate. Having the club path in a good spot is going to be really, really beneficial. So that's where you're never going to miss it hugely offline if your club face is good as well, if your club path's in a controllable spot. If you want to be that robotic driver of the golf ball, maybe a little bit too much out, a little bit too slicey, this is the drill, because that is what it got me to, was a little bit more robotic. With my driver, I just knew that I was going to now, anyway, when I teed it up, after doing tons of drill, I know that I'm going to be, if I'm not on the fairway, which most likely would be the case, I'd only be a little bit offline. The big misses are certainly not there anymore, thanks to this drill. So again, swing plate, link in description to get this. Most of my practice is done here with it. 3 to 4 times a week, I'm here in the net practicing, and one time a week, I'm at tee to green, measuring my numbers. So, but it's the drills that really help me get, of course, the stick drill at the start for my low point, getting my pressure left from a centered turn, hugely important. The power element, and again, getting the rotation opened up, and again, pressure left from pause at the top and step through, and 3 with driver here, massively helping me, of course, for controlling club path coming through the golf ball. Simple drills, but make big, big differences. So you don't have to do all 3. If you want to, go for it. But I can guarantee you, if you're suffering with any of the areas I did, these drills will help you tremendously and make you a lot better of a golfer than you maybe think you might be able to get to. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button for more golf instruction, just like this. Hit the subscribe button and hit that bell button too to be notified anytime I put out a video.